before we jump too far into this. What else do I want to do? Music. Cool. Should be fun. Okay. Okay. I also do want to get Scratch 6 into another. Oh, cancel. Oh. Okay, so there's a few things I want to do. Let's kind of get a plan going here. So plan number one. We're gonna need to requirements to design, 3, develop. I mean, nothing crazy here. First one is AIO CDP. I'll be using Chrome Devtools protocol to interact with the browser. I need an incognito tab in Chrome to keep it bias free when I make searches. And then I start looking into Daxter for automation and data engineering, because that's what we'll be doing. We'll be moving data around a few things, and I want to make sure we're implementing good practice and good design here. I guess this may not really even be a requirement. Let's throw that in here. Jumping ahead. Requirement is want to get YouTube recommendations from the search bar. I want to get Google recommendations from the search bar. And then develop, so AIO CDP. I need to update. And then actually building the project. So AIO CDP is something I've already been working on in Python. Let's get rid of that. It's to programmatically access the Chrome DevTools protocol and using WebSockets under the hood. So there were a few changes I made, probably a few breaking changes, honestly. So I just need to double check all of those are good. So I think I can run tests. This should be good. Okay. So that failed because I have Chrome windows already open. So if I do this, and I run it now, there you go. Now they're all working. Okay. That That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Let me just head back into the studio. For this guy. Cool. Okay. So the few changes that I made was I'm no longer using properties as abstract. I'm no longer having like abstract methods on the property class because I want to defer to the subclass to determine how they want to store certain data. So for example, this WebSocket URL was a property in the past, and the way kind of this, from like a programming perspective, I'm just kind of rambling here. iTarget needs the target or any subclass to have a way to get the WebSocket URL. So before, I would have the iTarget say, hey target, you need to have a property called WebSocket URL, which returns this guy. The problem with that is, depending on the subclass implementation, if you're storing the WebSocket URL for whatever reason as an actual field, it starts conflicting when you try to use it with properties. So instead, we're going to go somewhat old school here, and we're going to implement some getter methods. And so the iTarget, as long as the subclass implements a getter method for the WebSocket URL, we should be good, because in other places of the code, we are trying to get the current set factory for the target, and we'll be pulling in the WebSocket URL using this method instead of the property. So that's something I just need to also confirm in the implementation, which is going to be a little interesting. I was able to run correctly, so I know all the abstract methods and the abstract properties are fine. Oh, here we go, is closed. On the stream, we need to do a get events to listen again, because the iEvent stream reader, in whatever complicated scenario that we're giving the subclass, they may want to implement this a completely different way, to where that they're actually storing this in memory as opposed to it being something. And then if you're working with data classes and you want to store it as a in-memory attribute of that specific class, you're going to have to run a different name, so you're conflicting with name conflicts. So I think it's a little nicer to have the get events to listen to. So let's implement that. A B C D F G H I. Get connection. Get is closed. We can keep it as is closed, that's fine. We come down here. It's no longer a property, but I need to find. Okay, so I need to now call this guy. Actually, if I did that, oh, this is still going to return true, I think. No, it's not. Oh, okay, that's fine. saying you cannot implement this event stream reader because this doesn't have ideally this should be an streamer, but here we do say get events to listen. There you go. There you go. So now we get rid of this guy, and then we say dot get connection. But we don't use this anymore. Oh, we got that. In self.stream dot events. What else are we missing? Events to the properties. So now we're assuming, so I guess this becomes an issue, like the reader, this iterate. It relies on the internal implementation of the stream. That can become an issue. Sorry, so we're just jumping right into it. AIO CDP, so for those who are watching this on replay, let's do so Chrome Devtools protocol is what we'll be using. This is, I believe, what Puppeteer uses, for those who are familiar with web scraping. They use this under the hood for some of their methods, so there's no good API in Python or library that implements this, so this is what we're doing here. Essentially, the way it works is you've got, so this is based on WebSockets and the JSON RPC server, or JSON RPC protocol. So with WebSockets, it's a client server protocol. So you have the client and you have a server. And so what the client can do is it'll connect to the server, and now you can have messaging communication. So for those who know what HTTP is, right, you know that when you send a request, you get a response. And the server can't send a request to a client. The client needs to send the request to the server, and the server will respond. So what WebSockets does is you can send either machine can send a request to the other, and we're not expected to get a response back. So what JSON RPC does is it says there's this protocol defined that says when you send a message, and if a message says, if a client or a server sends a message to another machine, either a client or a server, and the message is a request, like a JSON RPC request, then we can safely assuming that the other machine properly implements this protocol, that we can assume that we'll get a response back. And then there's some times where, like, you're sending what's called notifications, where the server will send a notification to the client and we don't expect a response back. So three things. So we got messages, which kind of fall under requests, responses, and notifications. Request is kind of like HTTP request. You send it, you get a response back. Same thing with the responses, and there's some validation involved with requests and responses, and same thing with notifications. So Let's see, JSON. Let me see if I can find it. RPC. Here we go. So if you guys want to look at the specs for JSON RPC, that's how, how this works. And so Chrome DevTools is built on top of this specification. So kind of going back to it, right? So Chrome DevTools, if you look at their documentation, we'll take a look at the stable 1.3. Say we want to, run some JavaScript from an external machine on, actually, you know what, let's take a step back. So now let's go back to like Chrome windows and everything. So you've got a Chrome browser. Browser can have multiple windows. I guess this is a bad representation, so this is let's clear everything. So you can have, and then you've got tabs. And then you've got other stuff that goes on in a page like iframes and things like that. So you've got window, tabs. So every tab is actually considered its own, what Chrome DevTools protocol labels it is a target. So you can have another machine somewhere else using WebSockets, specifically the JSON RPC protocol, and connect to a specific target, and then you can start talking to it through WebSockets, and you can send requests that say, hey, can you do something for me here, and can you do this, and can you do that, and the tab will actually go and do it. So for example, in Python, I may want to say, go and execute some JavaScript for me. I've got JavaScript in a local file. I'm gonna read the file contents and I'm gonna send it to you, and you're gonna go execute it inside the tab's runtime. And the tab will say, okay. And so there's something here I believe called evaluate. Evaluate the expression on a global object. So this, you can write any sort of JavaScript that's valid. It could be, I don't know if there's like a size limit, I haven't explored that. But you can write JavaScript, and if you need to send it over multiple messages, I think you can set it up to do it that way as well. So what we're gonna do, I kind of had already thought a little bit about this. We're gonna open up a Chrome incognito tab. We'll go to YouTube and we'll go to Google. We'll start typing in some basic questions, predicates, keywords, and what Chrome or what Google and what YouTube is going to do is it's going to spit out some suggestions, and these suggestions, as the SEO industry, as kind of I want to say alluded to, but have kind of talked a little bit about here, and I think it's kind of widely known, is like Google's going to recommend to you what other people have also searched. So that's a way you can kind of reverse engineer and say, okay, if Google's recommending me when I say how to Python and I see 10 recommendations, I can safely assume that Google is giving me, based on my history, those are the things that people are searching for, based on those initial keywords. So that's why we need to do this in incognito. Now there's some stuff going on with whether incognito tab actually can reference your history, or if it actually stores or tracks your history. So, but we're gonna assume, right, for better or worse, that we don't know, right, or we're gonna assume that that's not an issue. And I don't think it would be, and if it is, then we can move over to Firefox or another browser, and we can operate under those kind of a different set of conditions. So that's kind of high level explanation of what we're doing. So AIO CDP makes it easier to communicate to these Chrome windows in Python using Pythonic code. So without it, what you would have to do is, let's see what we can do. So, and typically the way it would look is you import asyncio because we're using asynchronous functionality, because again, the target can send us notifications or events that happen. And so we need to be able to handle those asynchronously. And we don't want to, implement some weird workarounds where we send a request and while we wait for a response, all events that come back are stored in some sort of, list or something like that. So we're just using asyncio to stay safe and to kind of keep this library a little more robust. So setup tabs. So first we're going to initialize a Chrome instance. By default, the host is always going to be localhost and port is 9222. Start, what this is going to do is it's actually going to go launch the Chrome instance. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open a tab for a specific URL, and what it'll do is it'll send a WebSocket. Actually, I don't think OpenTab does that. OpenTab will send an HTTP request to open up a new tag, and the response is going to be a target info object, which will contain all the information about the target that was just opened. And so you can kind of set up all of this stuff, and so this is how you kind of like initialize it, and then from there you can send requests. I actually don't have this documented here. Let's see if I can get this going in the tests. I've got some stuff here. So open up Yahoo, you sleep a little bit, you get a list of all the targets. I actually could have done this. As I was kind of developing, I was just throwing stuff, whatever. But then here I can send and wait for a response. I can say, hey, go navigate to this specific URL, and it'll go and navigate to that URL. And so you can kind of do a lot of stuff. You can anything that's supported by the Chrome Devtools protocol. I'm going to call it CDP for short. Anything that's supported by CDP, we can implement ourselves just by using these raw strings and saying, hey, runtime evaluate, here's the expression, document query selector form, and it will return the form object. Here I'm not really doing any crazy assertions. I have to rewrite all these tests anyway. But that's kind of what we're looking at here. Cool. So that's kind of the summary. So what I'm doing right now. So this is already published to, if I go to PyPy, this is already published to PyPy. So as you can see, some of the documentation is like missing, hasn't been updated for a bit. And it's still kind of under development. I don't know why I put it under 1.0. I should probably put it back to 0 since it's not public release, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. Let's keep going though. I think we left off at the stream. So we have an isClosed property. I don't want that anymore because the isClosed is now going to be a method. And then here is where we were. Okay, so this is like in terms of responsibility, right? So we can set up some methods here on this guy. Def, async def, await next event. So yield await self.stream.await next event. And then we need the, and so this is the question, like, do you want the stream reader to have to, do you want every single stream to require a way to implement a way to read the data? So I don't know. Are we coupling it too much? That's a valid question, valid concern. Or do we just say, hey, you know what? On the actual stream itself, you can actually run an iterate method, and this logic will lie inside the event stream, and that actually makes a lot of sense too. And then the reader just reads it. And I am leaning towards that actually. Because these are like implementation details. Somebody who's implementing this may choose not to use, you know, await next event. So there's not really a great answer here. So we'll go ahead and just implement iterate. And I did have this at one point. I took it out because I was kind of experimenting with different things. So we'll go self.events. So we'll do something like this. And then what we do, there we go, and then iterate, we'll go up to, iEvent stream. And we'll say abstract def async def iterate. There we go. And so there is our iterator. And now we have a coroutine instead. Async def generator. So for every iteration here, yield an event. Now what's the issue here? We could do yield from, is it this? Oh, okay. Alright, what's the difference between these? For versus wait, async. Okay, so we might need to test this first, right? So you'll iterate for every item in stream.iterate. Now we await next, so we return the result of next, but this isn't an async generator. I don't think we need async for, because if we do async for, then we would do like an await here. Right? I think if we get rid of this, this doesn't work. Let's load up ChatGPT and get something going here. So async for verse for versus both related, but they serve different purposes. So this syntax, iterate over an asynchronous. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Yes. So I don't know why Python is yelling at me for this. I mean, let's actually test this. There you go. Yep. Alright, so for some reason Python isn't liking the way I set this up, which means either this guy is not gonna fix it. If I remove I don't want to remove that though. So it's expecting an async iterable, but instead it got a coroutine, which means that you're expecting async iterable. Got a coroutine instead. Nope, that doesn't do it. The other thing is I may need to download Python 3.11. Or 3.12. That's fine. Let me run this right there. thing came up. Okay. I have a feeling it's a Python error. One way I can try this. I'm getting all caught up in the type hints. I think 3.9 is getting all weird. Alright, let's try this. Configure Python interpreter, add a local one, virtual environment, it's going to be new. Go with this and we'll use we have 3p11, okay. Did that fix it? Okay, something's up here. Async generator. Why does this coroutine say that it's returning? Async on the abstract methods, how well is that supported? Because maybe it's not. Maybe I need to specify that it's a def, and I'm returning an async iterator of type T. Then this guy can specify that it's async. It'll still match the ABC. So maybe async isn't required. So let's go back to this guy. Remove this. And then down here, yep, that's how you do it, and that's how you'll annotate it. That it's, yeah, I think it's just an annotation thing. And okay, that's another thing that I should probably set up. So all the annotations here. First target, I target, get host, get blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's fine. Connection. Async def connect should return coroutine. There you go. Disconnect. I think, how do you annotate the coroutine? What are oh, okay. Annotate coroutine. Yield type, send type, return type. This is valid. Here we go. Returns a future connection. Okay, I don't like it too long, but that's fine in this case. Sure. Yep. Excellent. We're cleaning it up, cleaning it up. If I don't, what's the, okay. I just realized maybe little too high up there. I think can't really escape the async here. So if I go down, still fine. I think you just need to accept that that's going to happen. The close is going to return a coroutine. The open is going to return a coroutine. That does not. That's much easier to understand a little bit too. Def. Okay, normal async. These are all fine targets where it's gonna get me. So we got some. I'll have to do the docs later. Yep, there you go. I think it's good too. Yep. Is that right? Yeah. And close stream should just be normal. None. There you go. Alright. That should be alright for now. Okay. Let's run our tests real quick. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let's get rid of the virtual environment. Let's configure 3.9. Okay, it's working, and it's working. Assertion error. Oh, it's closed. Okay. Now we're talking about implementing all of this stuff. So it's closed. This should work. What's going on here? Internal implementation is invalid. Give me one momento. Alright, backspace. Yeah, so I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff happening. Okay. Let's try it now. Success. Alright. This is as many tests as I'm going to run before I publish this up. It does have breaking changes, but no one's, as far as I know. Is using this, and this was super recent. RST. I have an env file in here. Make sure there's nothing crazy in it. I don't think there should be. Yeah, nothing crazy in there. There's nothing at all in there. I don't even know where it is. What's this www? Oh. Okay. This is going to be a problem because I've got them on a server log. So I actually am going to need to glitch out this stream for a little bit. I need to create a new project. I'll throw it under. Let me do this guy. Ben. Okay. And I will call this stream setup. We'll use 311. Create new window. And I am just going to copy all the FFmpeg stuff to allow this to stream properly. Alright. Cool. Probably should do something like this. That would be nice, and then I can remove some of the stuff here. Anyways, I'll clean up the code later. I'm gonna have to interrupt today's broadcast for just a tad. Okay, I think we're back. We should be back. And now it's running in its own little stream setup, so that's good. So I can now delete all these logs. Oh, give me one moment. Alright, we're back. Cool. Okay, this looks good. I'm gonna publish. Where is this env file coming from? I think I delete this. I deleted this. Right? Deleted. And then just a bunch of other stuff happening. Okay. Breaking changes and bugs is what we're implementing right now. Okay. Now, before I publish this, I do want to set up some stuff. Okay, so now we're kind of moving on to the next step of our plan, which is building the actual project. So this is going to be, I'm going to call this plan. It's not going to be here. It's going to be, I don't think I have any sensitive data. It's a relatively new computer. Studio, admin, content. I guess not really. I don't know. Plans, just plan. There you go. Okay, so this is done. Now we actually need to build the project. This is going to be SEO automation tool. So we're going to new project. projects. Is it? We can open this up. I don't really have anything crazy here. Yeah, I think it's under here. New directory, SEO automation tool. All right? Is that right? I think so. Yeah, what was our content? SEO automation tool. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. 311. I like that. Maybe 312. Why is 312 at the not at the user level? I don't know. Who cares? Wait, whoa. What? Oh. Projects. Oh, did I not create this? Yeah, okay. There we go. New window. We're gonna directly install it from the library from GitHub. So I'm going to head over to GitHub Dev Studio CDP git plus. I think this is how you do it. Oh, pip install. Oops. Building dev dependencies. Okay, so now if I do from CDP import target. Okay, cool. Okay, now we actually get to the business logic of the SEO tool, which should be exciting now. Okay, first things first is incognito. There's a you know what, let me try something real quick. Give me one moment. Alright, sorry for all these interruptions, folks. Alright, let me go open up Opera real quick. I'll go private mode. So CDP, Chrome Devtools, incognito mode. There was a way to set this up. Alternatively, I could set it up and then click and then Control Shift N, but I'd prefer to keep the system out of this. There we go. Yeah, there we go. This should be it. Create browser context. Okay, let's try it. So first things first, if name main let's make sure we can start this up. This is why we try this first. Oh, I think we need no. Oh my gosh, hold on. What branch am I on? What branch am I on? I'm on main. think I do have. Too few arguments for typing generator actual. Oh. Okay. Wait. No way. I definitely changed this. And yep, I definitely changed this so it didn't get pushed up all the way. Oh, that's right, I only committed, I didn't push. There you go. I think this should now. Pip freeze requirements. txt pip uninstall -y r. Okay. Pip install. Reget the latest. Might use the cache for quite a few of it. Okay. Now I remember running into that issue. There we go. Now it's running. Now it's loading it correctly. So now, let's do a new page. Just open tab. The new tab connects to it. And then open session. We could do this. So yep, that's wrong. Our session. Open on our target open session. Okay. I should be pushing this stuff up. Bug fix, come on, push. Okay. Now that's interesting, because if I do a future instead of a coroutine, that might be better. I want to work on some type in stuff real quick. Okay, type in's not working. Still not working. Okay, so I do need to use future. go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Session. I gotta change everything. Quite a few things. So now I want to send and await a response. All right, let's just test, make sure we got everything going. Okay, so it's working sometimes, but not all the time. Oh, you know what? What is target in this case? Target info. It's JSON new. Now that's interesting, because that means I can do Chrome tab, open tab, asyncio.sleep1. This is a weird hack. I think I have to do on another project as well. Now if I run this, target info is now the new tab. Yep. Okay, that's what the issue was. So I'm still getting data coming in from here. There we go. There's Google. Okay, now, so now we know we can send this. So now what I need, oh my gosh, so many windows open. Crazy. Alright, let's do this. So, I don't think I'll be using Chrome Incognito for that. I think I'm gonna go back here. I need to create browser context. Browser? Is that was? Yeah, browser. I think, yeah. I need to get tip of the tree. That's not safe, the way to do this. Create browser. Oh, target. I think this is under target. Create browser context. Okay, this is our method. Parameters, optional, 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 optional. Okay. It's not what I'm looking for. Method not allowed. That's interesting. The other option would be us to Chrome Devtools protocol run browser incognito mode, or we run it in guest mode. Google.com, and we stay signed out. Oh, and there you go. I don't recall any of this stuff, so that's good. So now Python programming. Okay, so we could just start it in the guest tab. We don't need to worry about incognito mode. That will work. Open guest profile, Chrome, command line. Oh, okay, append dash dash guest. So now when we, don't tell me. Okay. Wait, what? Where's the, oh, when I start it, okay. I could run headless, or I could run guest. Oh my gosh, really? That's crazy. I can't believe I didn't do that. Oh, that's good. At least we're learning it now. And then we've got, what is it? Extra CLI args. List of string. Yep. Equals none. Okay. It's not really a type hint, but it is what it is. Okay. It worked. It worked. So now, let's go page, navigate. Let's just go to Google. Now we run this. Server error. Sleeping. Navigate it to Google. There you go. Okay. So now that we've navigated to Google, what we need to do is we need to intercept the network request that comes back every single time we type something into the search bar. So, should be fun. Let's do it. Yeah, so I don't care about this. What I do care about is getting the guest window over here. Okay, so it's always going to show up here, and that's what I want it to do. Why is it going internal server error? Am I using a get? Oh, you look at that. Okay, so somewhere we open the tab. Oh my gosh, really? That's why we have tab URL here. Okay. Let's do this. So yeah, that's a horrible bug to do. Can't believe this mistake was made. It's okay though. Okay, so full URL, if URL, full, let's go base URL, if URL, then base. I don't know. I mean, because I think I had this as a tab URL at one point, but it didn't make sense to, when a caller calls open tab, I'm specifying a tab URL. It's like, okay, obviously the tab URL is that. We'll just do this. There you go. This is gonna be horrible, but it's what it is. Okay. I was like, why is it not working? Bum. Building a dependency. Okay. Now when I run this. Wait, what happened? Okay, now I need to step through this. Step into URL. If URL, yes. No. You put the URL. Invalid schema. What? No way. That's an issue. Oh. Haha. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, we signed up for some ASMR here. Quite a few guest tabs open. Should probably. I'm gonna remove our painting that we put together as I clean up some of our tabs. But that is very strange. Very strange, very strange. That we are running into this issue. Okay. The tests work. If I take away guest, that works fine because it actually navigates to Google exactly as expected. But when I open up guest, oh, it no longer navigates to Google. Yes, it does. Okay, so that was an intermittent glitch. I'm sure I had like a guest browser tab open that was messing up some of the stuff. Okay. So that's fine, so we can navigate. Cool, okay. Now we actually start writing the logic to scrape this data. So if I inspect network and I start typing Python hello world, all of these results come from a server and they come from this server right here. Yep. You can kind of see the preview. Now, one option is to use, the headers and try to recreate this entire object, and I've done that before, but I guess that might work. But having something like this, it's probably a little easier to debug when things go wrong, and I'm sure the API is gonna go wrong a lot. I don't know. This probably just seems more real. We'll change it, and I don't know, like, this is all super dependent on the server, so if they change something with one of these headers, I wouldn't know, and I'd have to do the hard way to figure it out. But if I'm typing it through here, it's easier for me to just type it and let their code handle communicating to the server, starting this transfer of messages, and I'll just pick up whatever comes through. That just makes the most sense. So here's our results. Now the headers, this is typically going to come in Google complete search queue equals So what I'm going to do is open up a stream. So I already have, I think I can do a sync with await target open session, a session. So I'll send the request to navigate to Google. I'll wait until that's done. There's a way to check. I had some code in another project I'll have to look at. But before I do that, I want to open up a stream. Open stream. And I want to do the fetch dot request paused. Now this is an interesting one because this is just very interesting, and I'll show you why. So first we need to do session.send. We don't really need to wait a response here. Yeah, let's do all URL patterns. I don't think I need all URL patterns. I just need this one, and I want it at the response stage. And I need to await it. So first we're going to enable the fetch domain. What this is going to do is it's going to, every single request that comes in and out is going to actually stop before it hits the response step. Which is, you know, that's fine. That's exactly what we need, and then we can actually inspect it as we iterate over it. So with Asyncio, you really have got this asynchronous programming style. The way Chrome will tell you that something happens is they'll send you a request saying, hey, the request was paused. And I'm opening up a stream here, which I can then, for event and await stream.iterate. Now, actually, we just got a lesson from this, so we don't need to do that. Okay. So the way this works is as soon as the, okay, so actually when you open a stream, it returns a stream reader. This is more of those like programming concepts where you're only exposing the reader. You're not exposing the actual stream to the user interface. So let's just print event, and then I think what we need to do is fetch continue request, and I need the request ID. So I do await session dot send an await response, continue, and then there's the request ID. Now let's actually debug this. Okay, so there's an HTTP error. Okay, I think it's because I already have another guest window open. That makes the most sense to me. Now, is there a way to see what the profile of a target is when I iterate over them? So here's what we're gonna do. We don't need scratch 8 anymore. Here's what I want to do. So let's, before we start it, I want to do Chrome list Chrome iterate targets. So I have 9 targets, and these are all the Chrome targets I have open. So I've got some ad systems. So I've got the Twitch stream open. I've got Twitch supervisor, ChatGPT. All of this beautiful information here. Ad blockers, service workers, and more service workers. Okay. Let's take a look at. Actually, I do want it to open it. Okay. Now, Actually, I don't need list on the get targets. I think this is, oh, new tab is the first one. Okay. Can I see the profile associated with a tab? I have the target ID. Okay, let's try something real quick. I wonder, how does this target ID, does it get persisted? Copy value. Is equal to Chrome get targets 0 info ID. Oh yeah. Not subscriptable. Okay. So it persisted, which is nice. Okay. So let's do this. Right as it gets to the return. Okay, so there's an error hitting this guy. Now, what is that error? Actually, I should probably take a look. Response 500. Could not create new page. Now, typically I think that is because this might be in guest mode. So if, for whatever reason, the response is could not create new page, then we can safely assume that we have, but it's hard to say we can safely assume, you know. If I start another, okay, so I can always spawn a new window of the Chrome guest browser, but I can't always connect to it, which is, you know, fine. Let me just make sure there's no chats going on YouTube. I don't think there are, but just in case. Okay. So we'll skip opening the tab. We don't need to open a new tab. As soon as we create it, we just sleep, we get the first target. That should be more than enough. Excuse me. We can probably close the tab later. Okay, here we go. So now, run it. Create it. Navigate it. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. Okay, so we've opened the session. We're gonna enable the fetch. We're gonna open up a stream. We're going to tell it to navigate. We wait. Oh yeah, that's right. Now we have to type P. Now notice nothing's changed yet until we fulfill the response. And so now we have access to this event. That's, I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to be just that. I need params. Request ID. So that's not going to work anyway. So now, you know, now the recommendations come through. So we're really kind of narrowing it down, intercepting it at just the right moment. Okay, P. I don't know why I'm saying P. Oh, Python. Okay, so now we continue the request and we wait. Pi. Okay, now this is going to be important. So there's actually a method in the fetch that allows me to get the response body based on the request ID. So what I also need to do here is body equals await session get response body, and that's the request ID. And now we'll have access to something beautiful here. So let's hit this. We don't need to stop there anymore. Let's go to Google. Let's go P. Body is this massive object which is base64 encoded. So we need to if body is base64 encoded. I completely forgot what the actual object of body was. Okay. Body base64 encoded. Okay. Import base64. Base64 decode. Oh. Body. Oh, B64 decode. Okay. 64 decode. And that's our response. And we've got some Panera Bread. Popeyes. Pearl Harbor Day. There we go. Okay, so we get the content back. That's important. Cool. Okay. So if body base64 encoded. Why is this okay. So maybe the okay, let's go back to our Scratch file. I don't care if it's I believe this is the return type. So now I can say I dot, there you go. Okay. We'll keep it coroutine to keep it more generic for sure. But everywhere, there's so many Chrome windows open now. Everywhere in AOCDP, I have coroutine. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna fly. Let's just do this. Yeah, we got a lot. Okay. And then anywhere where we have an any here. And then none here. Close session, that's fine. Connect, disconnect, send. This actually should, well, we'll keep it up to the person to determine the result type. Maybe? I don't know. We can keep it as any for now. We'll change it later. Oh wait, there was also this one with the future. Okay. body equals body equals base 64 decode body. And then it's gonna come in back as bytes, and then we can print the body. Okay, let's try this. Bring this bad boy over. Got Pete. Our body is the string of all of this. So the question is how do we actually decode this? So let's resume. Okay. Let's inspect. Let's go back to the network tab. No, I'm thinking Pearl Harbor. Okay, Pi. So let's go back to preview. So it starts. So we gotta get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we gotta get rid of this, like, this guy right here. What we'll do is we're going to save the raw response probably to a file first, maybe, and then we'll look at parsing it later. Or let's do this. To do save to file first for archival, and I don't know, archival, what was the other one? We don't really have compliance or anything, so archival purposes. Run parser in ETL pipeline when we streamline this guy. So we do body dot remove prefix. Okay, let's try something here. Body. Oh, there's a new line. Okay. Remove prefix. Okay. So we've got boom, boom, boom. I think we have a new line and then an opening quote. There you go. Okay, that's what we need. And then with this, port JSON dot loads body. Okay, so the last character, for some reason, wasn't very happy with us. Oh wow, okay, look at that. So it's a list of two. It's a list of, and then the last guy is just a dictionary, which means that we also, let me try something real quick. Is it this way? I can't remember. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Body dot remove suffix. Okay. Wait, oh my gosh. Could have just done that. Okay. What's at the end of this payload? Oh wait, we need, no, wait, this looks right. Okay, let's see what the JSON validation is. Okay, let's do this. Body 1793. Oh, okay. Okay. 17921199. Okay, so it's closer to the AG. Okay, right here. Oh, okay. So maybe we still need to keep this guy. Okay. Well, we're gonna need a reset. Now let's try this. There you go. Got the JSON. Okay. And so now we've got HTML. I think we could parse that out with a parser. Don't know what this list is. We've got some other stuff, but we don't care about that. We really only care about the first guy, which is nice. These probably might be coordinates. I'm giving away my coordinate information online. It's crazy. Okay. Alright, not too bad. Yeah, we could probably just, resume. And then there's our body. Okay, there's our data. So this data is like, the format is fine. I've looked at this before, so that's why I kind of know it. I don't know YouTube's. It's gonna be something we'll have to do. So we kind of have to start coming up with a process to consistently extract this data. So there's something actually called if I search a Python programming. So I will probably end up using some of this as well, but I know that they've got some sort of rate limiting. Yeah, here you go. So we can't always use this. And I've got plenty of stuff I want to ask. So I like what they do is they kind of prefix some of their stuff with specific keywords. What, where, when. And that's all we really need to do. So yeah, so we'll have to start coming up with some of the business logic when we get there. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. Quick bio break, and then we'll keep going from where we're at right now. Oh shoot, nice. Thanks. How's it going? Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Thanks for the heads up, by the way, that I was on mute. Well, it comes after when you get in JSON. What kind of asset do we get out? Probably rows. We can just call them rows. That's really it. That's the only processing. I don't want to come up with stuff we don't need. Yeah. Oh wait. That's in here. Validating and processing is just in object out boolean error. Maybe an error. I don't know how the question marks go. I think we'll throw them at the end. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's validate profile. It's not going to be too challenging. And where do I want to store this data? Do we want to actually keep in rows out? Null, or report. So this is taking the raw object and it's turning it into a readable JSON. That alone should also track, what kind of algorithm we've used. Like our algorithm is not really something, but it's like the parsing technique or the parsing strategy. Parsing strategy is really more what it's like. Is removing this string. Who knows what it could be in the future, right? Who knows what kind of strategy we need to get it to a JSON form. Maybe at one point we actually need to, the worst thing that can happen is Google starts to encrypt this stuff, and I don't think they would. And then have some sort of key on the UI. So now our ETLs also must extract key from the UI or for whatever reason. So it can get pretty complicated. So it's unlikely that'll happen though. So yeah, we just want to validate that we can, at least one of our strategies can handle it, and we just convert it. It's like removing all the HTML and stuff, and this will just be one big task. And so there will be raw data coming in. So there's a few steps. First one is raw string contents to raw JSON object 3 processed JSON object 4 structured rows, or I should say just rows. So this could be either structured, semi-structured in the CSV file. I'm good with both. There's not really a preference, so to say. And then obviously the monitoring and all of that, but we don't have any sort of schedules assigned yet, so I don't think we'll need to focus on that too extensively. And while this is kind of all running in the same scripted project, I think we should be fine. So let's get Daxter in here. So okay, before we do Daxter, let's find a way on how we're gonna store this raw JSON data. I don't want to create a whole bunch of files for it. We could just use a key object store or key value like DynamoDB, but locally that works. We'll just have a super big JSON. Each one will have its own session. Yeah. That works perfect actually. So we will do this. For Google data when we extract, we're going to and the actual DAG is going to be its own little module. So how do we even get started with Daxter? I think it goes Daxter and Daxter. What's the other thing? Daxter pip install. you've got some weird dependencies like that. I mean, I guess it's fine, but still I prefer to never have to do that. But I don't know. Skip. Yeah. Okay. So I think we're kind of at a semi-good stopping point. We can play around with the Daxters, Dax stuff later. I think that's interesting. So I think we've got a direction to head to. I'm getting a little sleepy. Probably gonna read into Daxter a little bit on the side, but we've kind of got to that good stopping point where we kind of were able to get this extract portion out. We have some of the transformations to get it into JSON. Now we just need to be able to transform it to get it into like a CSV format where we can see, you know, top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Daxter would be like the sweet tool on top that I'm thinking maybe we know we'll probably need it, but if not, then we just don't need it and we just need to run it. But I would like ideally to have like some sort of scheduler or some sort of schedule to run. But I don't know if that's really necessary right now, so maybe not. Cool. Alright. Gonna probably head out of here. See if anything's happening. Looks like all's good. Alright, awesome. Thanks all for stopping by. I'll catch you later.